Welcome to the Revenge Story Times channel. Throughout my life, I have always sought order, growing up in a peaceful town, marrying my high school sweetheart, and becoming a father at a young age. Everything seemed perfectly planned. But real life never sticks to plans. You can't imagine how someone can hide a lie while looking into the eyes of the person they love. I couldn't imagine it either. I didn't know how deeply betrayal, hidden behind innocence, could wound someone until an envelope was placed on the table. Before I dive into my story, if you don't want your life to be turned upside down like mine, subscribe to my channel to learn real lessons from the real stories we share every day, just like mine. Also, share your thoughts about the shocking truths I've experienced in the comments, and please show your support by liking my video. Now that you've subscribed, let's dive into my story. Growing up in Byron Bay was like living in a painting, a small town, familiar faces, and an ocean that seemed endless. In this tranquility, I met Shauna during my high school years. Shauna was a turning point in my life. Everything was effortless with her, our laughter, our silences, our dreams. Our friendship was so strong that I wasn't surprised when it turned into love. Together we planned our future, believing with youthful excitement that we could build a family. I became a father at 18. Maddie's arrival changed our lives in an instant. The moment I held her tiny hands, I felt like everything in the world had fallen into place. Shauna and I were young and inexperienced, but we believed that love would get us through anything. We married shortly afterward. Our marriage was like a young and fragile tree, but we believed we would root it deeply over time. Things changed as Maddie grew. Responsibilities increased, and my focus shifted more toward work. An invisible wall formed between us. At first, we thought we could overcome it, but arguments, misunderstandings, and unexpected moments of disappointment brought us to the brink of separation. Shauna and I divorced amicably. By the end of it, the love we had for each other transformed into friendship. After the divorce, life seemed balanced for a while. We came together for Maddie, putting her happiness above everything else. Meanwhile, my career was unexpectedly skyrocketing. The gaming company I founded, Othergam, was gaining worldwide recognition. This success made me feel like I was doing something right in life, but no matter how good things seemed, the emptiness in my life couldn't be filled without someone new entering it. Then Bridget came into my life. Everything with her started quickly, passionate, exciting, and as if she had added color to my world. For a while, I felt as though I had forgotten the pain of the past. When I married her, I thought I was making a fresh start. However, what I didn't know was that this fresh start would lead me to an entirely different ending. At first, my marriage with Bridget was like a fairy tale. Her energy brought new excitement to my life. With her, I laughed, dreamed, and felt young again. But over time, the cracks beneath this fairy tale began to show, small details, overlooked signs, and inexplicable unease inside me. I felt that Bridget wasn't being completely honest with me. Yet, I kept suppressing these feelings, ignoring them to preserve our happiness. Shauna had always been my most trustworthy friend. The fact that we were divorced had never weakened the bond between us. Whenever we came together for Maddie, I could still feel the friendship that stemmed from our past marriage. But one day, everything changed with a sentence Shauna said to me, "Tim, Bridget is cheating on you." Hearing those words was like an unexpected blow. On one hand, I wasn't surprised to hear it, on the other, the certainty in Shauna's voice chilled me. My eyes were drawn to the envelope on the table. Inside it was a truth that would change my life, but I didn't have the courage to open it. After a few minutes of silence, Shauna pushed the envelope toward the edge of the table. "Everything you need is in here," she said, her voice soft but firm. The sadness in her eyes showed how difficult it was for her to say these words. "I had to tell you because you deserve to know." My hand instinctively reached for the envelope. I paused for a moment before opening it and looked at the kids. Maddie was pushing Greg on the swing, their laughter filled the backyard. This innocent scene only intensified the storm within me. As I watched Maddie, I thought about the life we had shared. I had done everything to earn her trust and love, but now I felt that the marriage I had built with Bridget was threatening that trust. When I opened the envelope, the documents and photos inside revealed the truth in stark detail. Learning that Bridget had been in a relationship with another man for months shattered me. Even worse was discovering that this man was Bridget's ex-boyfriend and that the affair had begun before we even got married. My hands started trembling as I looked through the documents. There was a USB drive containing recorded conversations. I played one, and Bridget's voice echoed in my ears. "Tim is smart and successful. As long as I'm married to him, everything is mine. But if we get caught, I'll have nothing." Hearing those words wiped away the last remnants of hope I had. Once again, I had been betrayed by someone I loved. Shauna placed a hand on my shoulder and said, "You don't have to go through this alone, Tim." But at that moment, I felt more alone than ever. Learning about Bridget's betrayal was one of the hardest blows in my life. After recovering from the end of my marriage to Shauna, I had dared to love again, but this time the wound was even deeper. Thinking about how I would explain this to Maddie made me feel sick, but one thing was certain: Bridget had to leave my life. My first step was consulting my lawyer. With the evidence in hand, I didn't hesitate for a moment to file for divorce. I also took every precaution to prevent Bridget from exploiting me financially. I closed joint accounts, canceled her credit cards, and deactivated her insurance benefits. I wanted her to feel the consequences of her betrayal. Shauna and Rick were my biggest supporters during this process. Shauna's courage in exposing Bridget constantly inspired me. She took Maddie and Greg to her place for a while, giving me space to manage this chaos. Rick stood by me firmly during the legal proceedings against Bridget. Without their support, I couldn't have overcome this challenge. For a while, being alone in the house and feeling Bridget's absence was hard. The house was filled with memories of her, but those memories were no longer beautiful, they were painful. What disturbed me the most was realizing that Bridget had been with me only for financial gain. Was that true love, or had I misunderstood what love was all along? During this time, something Shauna said changed everything. "Tim, Bridget betrayed you, yes, but that doesn't define you. You're still a good father, a great friend, and a loving person." Those words lightened the darkness inside me, even if just a little. I began to realize that I needed to make room for love and commitment in my life again. I focused more on my work. Pouring my energy into new projects for other GAM helped distract me, but the real turning point was meeting Lily. We met at a friend's gathering. At first, I thought it would be hard to trust someone after Bridget, but Lily was different. The struggles she had faced in her past showed me how strong she was. Trusting her became part of my healing process. Over time, we formed a bond, and I dared to open a new chapter in my life with her. A year later, I married Lily. This time, I was confident that my marriage was built on a solid foundation. Maddie embraced Lily as a maternal figure. Now, our home is filled with the laughter of our triplets. Shauna and Rick are still in our lives, and our bonds of friendship are stronger than ever. While the scars of the past haven't completely faded, peace and happiness have once again taken over my life. Thank you for listening until the end. See you in the next episode of Revenge Story Times. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Goodbye.